Hey, this is Justin Gilman with Quantum Leads, and today I'll be walking you through your digital marketing attack plan to show you how you can generate more revenue every single month by increasing your search appearance on Google. Now, the first thing we're going to be looking at here is AC repair in Galveston, Texas. That generates about 90 searches every single month, and it's good to keep in mind that that's probably way higher than 90 searches because you have other search terms like AC repair company, AC installation, and all these different variations of these search terms. But for this video, we're just going to be focusing on this one, which generates about 90 views every single month. Now, let's go to your website and talk about the first part of everything, which is going to be internal search engine optimization. Here we are on your website, and like I said, the first thing we're going to be talking about is internal search engine optimization. And what is internal SEO? So, internal SEO is essentially all the different things that we can do from within your website itself to increase your search appearance. So, it's really important that we do this because I like to say that this lays the foundation for proper rankings in the future. So, this is going to determine, where we rank, because obviously we don't want to rank for roofing terms, that's not going to help us, and we don't want to rank for landscaping terms because that's not going to help us either. We want to rank for AC related terms, and that's what internal SEO is going to help us do. Now, there's a ton of different aspects of internal SEO. You have your title tags, your heading tags, your local business schema. But for the sake of time in this video, we're going to focus on the two most important aspects, which are content and keywords. Now, scrolling down your website, let's take a look at your content. It's a very contentful site. However, we really want to build this out. Right now, I'd probably say you have anywhere between 200 to 300 words of content on this homepage alone. And normally, I like to recommend about 750 to 1,000 words on a homepage to really build out that page, but not really eliminate that visual aesthetic. I know how important it is to have a visual aesthetic when it comes to your website or a visually pleasing website because you want people to see the face of your business through your website. So once again, I recommend 750 to 1,000 words on that homepage, which is a lot of content, but it won't take away from your website itself. Now, you may be saying, well, Justin, why don't I just throw up 3,000 words of content and Google will rank me number one? And while that sounds like a good idea, the problem with that is that it has to be relevant content. We can't just put any content out there. So we want to make sure the content is relevant, and the way that we do that is with the proper keywords. Now, keywords are essentially the most used words or phrases on a website. And based on these keywords, we're going to tell Google things about our business. Now, normally I like to look at it as that you want to answer the three main questions for Google with your keywords. And those are, what you do, what type of industry you're in. Number two, where you do business so we could drive that local traffic. And lastly, you want to tell Google who you are. So you want to tell them your brand name. So those are really your top 6 keywords. And obviously you can further optimize from there. But let's go to a tool I have called Keywords Everywhere and take a look at the keywords you're currently using for your website. Here we're on Keywords Everywhere. Your website's plugged in at the top. And if we scroll down here, we have your top keywords from top to bottom, most used to least. So number one, we have air. Number two, we have repair. Then we have furnace, conditioner, furnace repair, air conditioner. So once again, very industry specific keywords around your services. However, we can really further optimize this. We can create individual pages for each service and then optimize the content for those. But starting with this home page, we want to put AC at number one. I know you have air, but we kind of want to get that exact match. So AC at number one or repair at number one and then AC at number two. Because what I recommend is that your first two keywords are always about your industry. So AC repair or just AC installation, whatever it is, you want to put those in the top 2 keywords. Then your number 3 and 4 spot, I always recommend putting your city and your state. So it's always very, very important. So in this case, we'll put Galveston, and the fourth keyword would be Texas. That way we can really tell Google where we do business and drive that local traffic. And then in the 5 and 6 spot, I always recommend putting your brand there. It's really important that you rank for your brand. A lot of people think that you automatically rank for your brand just because you own the domain. And while that's true in some cases, a lot of times it's not because there are other businesses, either in the US or across the world that might have similar or the same name. So it's always important to rank for your brand. So I recommend that at your 5 and 6 keyword spots. Now, from there, you can continue to optimize, but let's take a look at your competitor and see what they're doing as far as content and keywords go and see how we can compare and contrast to see what we can get from them. Your cool website. They rank on the first page for AC repair in the Galveston, Texas area. Now, they don't rank necessarily number one, but they do rank on that first page, I believe, in the top 3. But I thought they did a really good job of building out their content and keywords. So let's kind of take a look here. You'll see that their website is really just all content, just a few different paragraphs, nothing flashy, barely any images, but it ranks well for them. And I just want to give you this example because this is a good example of how far content can take you and having that contentful site. So definitely something to think about as far as content goes. And let's take a look at the keywords that they're using on this website. So if we scroll down here, you'll notice that there is repair at number 1 with 93 uses, AC repair at number 2, air, Texas, conditioning. So a very similar strategy to the one that I was laying out before, where you have your industry-specific keywords at number 1 and 2. 3 and 4, you use your location. Obviously, they put air in there, but they did put Texas. Then you have conditioning, air conditioning. So once again, very industry-specific keywords, and they all relate to the brand in some way. They also relate to the industry and the location itself. So answering those 3 main questions. So definitely a good use or a good guide for their keywords right here. And definitely something to think about as far as using some of these on your own website. Now let's go back to your website and talk about external SEO and how it kind of ties into everything. External SEO. So like we talked about with internal SEO, it's everything that we could do on your website and it lays that foundation. Whereas external is everything you can do off of your website. And what it's going to do is kind of build that top layer or that outer layer and really push us ahead of our competition. So internal lays that foundation, and external really gives us that push to get ahead of our competition and be seen first. Now, in this case, for external SEO, we're going to be talking about backlinking. What is backlinking and why is it important? So, backlinking is essentially all the different ways that you can get a redirect or a link from another website. Normally, this comes from like an image or a text, or maybe even just a raw link where somebody puts a link directly in a text. Whatever it is, it's a good way to transfer SEO power from one website to another because a backlink essentially acts as a reference to Google. So when somebody links to your site, they're essentially saying, hey, I support the information or I support this website and what they're saying. So here's a link to their site or their information. So definitely a good reference, and it can pass SEO power from one trustworthy website to another. But you have to walk a very fine tightrope when you're walking the backlinking tightrope because if you get good links, it tells Google that you're a good site. However, if you get harmful or spammy links, that can really hurt your ranking by telling Google that you are also a harmful or spammy site. So once again, very important to get quality backlinks over quantity. Yes, we do want a lot of backlinks, but no, we don't just want to throw any backlinks up there and risk hurting our ranking. So definitely something to think about. Let's go to a tool I have called Ahrefs and take a look at your backlink structure as well as some of your competitors. So here we are on Ahrefs. You can see your domain is plugged in here. You don't really have a UR for your website, nor do you have a strong DR with a 0.2. Right now you rank in the top 100 for 16 organic keywords, and that generates you about 4 organic users every single month. So definitely not terrible, but definitely a lot of work that we can do. Now let's go to your competitors and kind of get a better gist of what these metrics mean and see how they work. So we stuck with Dr. Cool here, and as you'll see, they have a 2 UR, a 19 DR. This generates about 10 users per month and puts them in the top 100 for 9 different keywords. So definitely a little bit better, but let's see, what this is, or let's talk about, what these metrics mean. So UR stands for URL rating, and what that is the individual power given to a single web page. So in this case, we're just talking about their AC repair in the Galveston, Texas area. So an individual location page that they created. Now, DR, on the other hand, stands for domain rating. What that is the power that goes through the entire website. So now we're not just talking about this single Galveston page, we're talking about the home page, all these service pages. Essentially, everything on the website is summarized in DR. So we want to have a strong UR and DR to really promote our website the best way possible, on top of all those other internal SEO factors. Now, let's keep going through because these guys only ranked, I think, number 3. So let's go here. We have Bosworth AC. They were the number 1 organically ranking company in that area. And you'll see that they have a 23 UR and a 3.8 DR. Puts them in the top 100 for 78 different keywords and generates them about 37 organic users every single month. So you clearly see the correlation between a strong internal and external SEO structure and the type of users that it can generate every single month. Now, once again, this is an on average too, so you got to think that it's a little bit higher than 37, but you mix some of those older months where you're building and some of those higher traffic months where you're currently at. So once again, this number could be much, much higher, especially when you start ranking for multiple terms and you have different pages going. Now, let's go back to the Google search engine results page and talk about the Google Map Pack search engine results page, and we're talking about the Google Map Pack. So this right here is the Google Map Pack, and what we've been talking about before was down here in the organic search results. So there's 2 places that you can win on Google, like we said down below. or in this Google Map Pack. And this map pack is super important because a lot of times you have to think that, when somebody doesn't have a family AC repair guy or somebody that they've been going to for years, they tend to just go on Google, look up AC repair guys and then their local city, and then picking out of one of these top three results or looking down below in the search results. So if you win down below and you win in the map pack, you essentially guarantee that 90 people every single month are going to come to your website first before they go to your local competition. So you can see the power here or the opportunity here if you can do that. But let's talk about how you get into the map pack. So to get into the map pack, you have to first, get a postcard from Google and verify your business online. That'll be really easy to do, and it's 100% free. Once you fill out the GMB profile, they'll just automatically send over that postcard. And then to rank in the map pack, you have to adhere to the individual factors that Google's looking for. So in a lot of cases, it's different than down below because what the Google Map Pack looks for is number one, that you filled out that form to 100%. That way, that you give as much information about your business and you look more reputable. Number two, what they're looking for is that you have a strong organic presence, which is why SEO is so important because not only does it help you rank down below, but it also helps you rank in this map pack. Now, number three, what they're looking for is citations. Now, what are citations? Citations are all the different places your name, address, and phone number for your business are going to be listed online. Once again, these citations, like some popular sources, would be like Yelp, the Yellow Pages, the Yellow Books, Facebook, all those different places where you can list that information about your business online. Now, let's take a look at how many citations each of these companies has, and I'll be able to tell you how many you'll need to go in and start outranking them. Bottom to top, we have the order, which was Roberts Air LLC with 30 citations, One Call Air and Heat with 11, and we have Galveston Bay Air Conditioning with 7 citations. Now, once again, we never just want to tie our competition. I normally recommend that you get double the amount of citations of the largest number in there. So right now that is 30. So we would want 60 citations to really guarantee that we go above and beyond our competition, to really outrank them in every category. Assuming you do all the citations with everything we talked about in the beginning as far as SEO goes, you should create the strongest results possible. And this is all we really had for you in this video. I hope this was very educational. And once again, we'd be happy to set up a meeting after to discuss anything that wasn't talked about in this video, or even to further discuss any questions or concerns you have as far as with things in this video. So once again, feel free to email us or shoot us a message. This is Justin Gilman with Quantum Leads, and thank you for watching.